Good morning. I hereby call to order this fifth meeting of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission for the year 2019 and ask that you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As a reminder, I just want to ask that everyone notes the safety information on the inside of the agenda. The commission, and also as a reminder, the commission will act on various matters at today's meeting, which is open to the public. However, since adequate forums have been made available for public participation in cases before the commission, there is no opportunity for the public to address the commission at this public meeting. With that, the first matter on this morning's agenda is the approval of the minutes for the meeting of February 28, 2019. And I call upon Commissioner Kennard, who is the editor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I've reviewed the minutes of the February 28th, 2019 public meeting and recommend that they be approved as submitted.
You have heard the motion for the approval of the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a joint second. They were both loud in both of my ears, so I'll go with Vice Chairman Sweet and Commissioner Coleman. Any further edits or discussion on the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. At this time, without objection, we'll call upon our Secretary Rosemary Chiavetta, to lead us through today's agenda.
Good morning, Madam Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Your bureaus and offices have prepared the following agenda items for your consideration. Therefore, let us begin on page 1 with matters presented by Director Monahan and the Bureau of Audits. It is recommended in an omnibus motion that the Commission adopt all of the audit reports appearing on page 1.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kennard, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 2, in matters presented by Director Sophie and the Office of Special Assistance. It is recommended in an omnibus motion that the Commission adopt all of the items on page 2, beginning with the appointment of Amy S. Goldman to the TRS Advisory Board, and continuing to include all of the items on page 3 and all of the items on page 4, and ending with the first item at the top of page 5 with the complaint of El Cannon and Esther Abergel versus the Philadelphia Gas Works.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Place, second by Commissioner Kennard. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Continuing on page 5, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the petition of the Commonwealth Telephone Company, LLC, and Southern Light, LLC.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kennard, second by Vice Chairman Sweet. Under discussion, let me just state for the record that Commonwealth Telephone Company is a corporate affiliate of Frontier Communications, and consistent with Section 1102 of the Commonwealth Ethics Act, I will be recusing myself from these two matters because my brother is employed by Frontier Communications. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0, noting my recusal.
It is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the petition of the Citizens Telecommunications Company of New York.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kennard, second by Commissioner Coleman. Under discussion, I will repeat the same thing that I just said for the previous case. I will be recusing myself from this case. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0, noting my recusal.
Turning to page 6, and matters presented by Director Diskin and the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion all of the items on page 6, beginning with the application of East Coast Power and Gas, and continuing to include all the items on page 7, all the items on page 8, all of the items on page 9, and finally, the 2 items appearing on page 10, ending with the tariff supplement of Pico Energy Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
I happily move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kennard, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 11, and matters presented by Chief A.L.J. Rainey and the Office of the Administrative Law Judge. It is recommended that the Commission adopt A.L.J. Watson's initial decision in the complaint of Carol Soja and Carol Lutzkanen versus the Metropolitan Edison Company.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman Sweet, second by Commissioner Kennard. Any discussion? For discussion, I will say quickly that I do agree with dismissing this case due to the complainant's failure to comply with the ALJ's interim orders directing them to respond to 2 recovery requests. But I will note on the record, as I have said many times in pro se cases, that I do not feel that it needed to be dismissed with prejudice because I did not see any attempt by these litigants to abuse our administrative process. I still will be voting yes on the case, just noting those comments. Any further discussion on the case? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
It is recommended that the Commission adopt A.L.J. Hoyer's initial decision in the complaint of Michelle and Robert Phillips versus the Pennsylvania Electric Company.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Place, second by Commissioner Kennard. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
And finally, on page 11, it is recommended that the Commission adopt Special Agent Chiodo's initial decision in the complaint of Jason Brooks versus the Philadelphia Gas Works.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Kennard. Any discussion on the case? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 12, it is recommended that the Commission adopt A.L.J. Meyer's initial decision in the complaint of Jan and Joyce Spirat versus the Metropolitan Edison Company.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Commissioner Kennard. Any discussion? I will state, I will have comments for the record, and I ask that they be spread upon the record in their entirety, but I will condense my comments. On October 18, 2018, complainants Jan and Joyce Spratt filed a formal complaint seeking an order prohibiting the use of herbicides by MedEd on a right-of-way which crosses the complainant's property approximately 40 yards from their house. In the instant complaint, the complainants reiterate the same argument that they made in a 2013 complaint, that the herbicide, if applied to vegetation in the right-of-way, could easily travel downhill to harm their stream, wells, dogs, plant life, and the wildlife that crosses the property. On September 11, 2014, in a 3-2 decision, the Commission denied the Spirat's 2013 complaint. I issued a joint dissent with Commissioner Colley, opining that the complainants successfully met their burden of proof to show that an exception to MedEd's vegetation management plan should be provided based on the particular facts of the case, and that failure to provide such an exception constituted unreasonable service under Section 1501 of the Code. I stand by my September 11, 2014 dissent. However, the facts of the complainant's case have already been adjudicated by the Commission. The doctrine of res judicata precludes the complainants from attempting to adjudicate the same facts on a second time. For that reason, I will vote to dismiss the case before us. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Madam Chairman, that concludes regular agenda. Turning to the carry-in agenda. On page 1 of the carry-in, it is recommended by the Office of Special Assistance that the Commission grant the petition of the Norfolk Southern Railway Company pending further review of and consideration on the merits.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coleman, second by Vice Chairman Sweet. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
It should be noted that the second item on page 1 is postponed until the public meeting of April 11th. Turning to page 2 of the carry-in, it is recommended by the Bureau of Technical Utility Services that the Commission adopt the proposed order in the letter of notification filed by the PECO Energy Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Place, second by Commissioner Kennard. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Turning to page 3 of the carry-in, it is noted that the petition of the Trico Connections LLC is postponed until the public meeting of April 11th. Madam Chairman and Commissioners, that concludes all agenda items to be considered today.
Thank you very much. We do have another item of business that I would like to bring to everyone's attention because it's important. Want to note that this is an important date. Well, actually, March 31st is the real important date. It is the date of the Commission's 82nd anniversary of the creation of the Modern Day Commission. I emphasize modern because you know we started out as a railroad commission over 100 years ago. So for more than 8 decades, the commissioners who came before us and my colleagues that are here today have focused on ensuring safe and reliable utility service for the commission's millions of residents. So we just want to wish happy birthday to the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission. And for those that want to come here on Sunday, maybe we'll have cake. No, I'm just kidding. We won't have cake. So with that, we will be ending our business session. And without objection, we will be adjourning.